To our salary board meeting for November 9th, 2021. Would you please join me with the salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Folks, the first item on the agenda is to approve, I should say the first and only item on the agenda is to approve our minutes from the October 12th, 2021 meeting. I'll entertain a motion at this time to approve the minutes unless there are changes or corrections. Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Prior to adjournment, is there anything for the good of the order? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So,
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, the first item on the agenda for our Board of Commissioners meeting, which we will go into automatically, we've just done the Pledge of Allegiance, so I don't see any need to do that again, is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting of October 26, 2021, and November 3rd, 2021. Unless there are changes or corrections, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the minutes of the same.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Bills, Tom.
Okay, general fund, $601,218.52. Liquid fuels fund, $8,720.06. American Rescue Plan, $10,004.27. 911 fund, $285,180.63. Communities Development Block Grant, $29,828.90. Domestic Relations, $1,559.61. Children and Youth Services, $4,828.34, giving us a grand total of $941,340.33.
Thank you, Tom. Unless there are corrections or questions about the information presented, I will entertain a motion. Approve the bills as presented by the Controller.
So moved.
Thank you. Motion has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Give us a second here to sign the document. Thank you. Okay, Dave. Okay, we have some personnel issues for our consideration. Under new hires, we have a new deputy controller at the controller's office effective November 8th, 2021. Normally, we don't mention folks' names, but I want to point out that it is Rob Edwards, who recently was elected as the new controller to succeed Controller Adamson. He's here getting an early start on learning the ropes of the job. So, Rob, welcome aboard. Sure. We also have a transfer. We have part-time telecommunicator to a full-time telecommunicator at our 911 office effective October 31st, 2021. We have some separations, retirements for our consideration. We have a full-time telecommunicator at our 911 office effective October 10th, 2021. Administrative assistant at our EMA and 911 offices effective November 4th, 2021. And a security guard effective October 8th, 2021. We have one request for leave of absence under the federal, leave of absence requested for FMLA commencing November 15th, 2021 through January 10th, 2022. Unless there are other personnel changes that I'm not aware of, I will entertain a motion that we approve the same. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Next item we have is public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? Okay. There being none, under old business, we have one item for consideration. The minutes of the September 28th, 2021 meeting we discovered did not contain a record of the public comment portion of the meeting. We are here to consider amending the minutes of the September 28th, 2021 meeting to include the same. Am I correct about that, Lisa? Thank you. Is there a motion that we amend the minutes of the September 28th, 2021 meeting to reflect the public comment that was stated at that time?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Well, under new business, folks, we have, I guess we have a duty of presenting a Pennsylvania Wilds Champion Award for 2021 to Mr. Don Schmidt from Du Bois. Mr. Schmidt is here with his lovely wife. And we do have various representatives of different organizations that are here to present their awards along with, that are associated with the Champion Awards. I do want to note, and it gives me great pleasure, and hang on, Mr. Schmidt, I did have some notes here if I can find them. Oh, okay. Mr. Schmidt is a retired mechanical engineer. Mr. Schmidt, that's a great profession. That was my dad's profession. He's been a longtime volunteer for different conservation organizations, in addition to the PA Wilds, for the Pennsylvania Wildlife Habitat Organization. Some of the activities he regularly engages in are everything from highway litter cleanups to replacing and cleaning wood duck and bluebird boxes in the Coahana Wild area. And I'm assuming, is that some type of, are they fed through those, or is there some other type of support through those boxes, Mr. Schmidt? Nesting boxes, okay. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for what you do. I would note also that in 2014, an American chestnut tree planting site was created here in Clearfield County, and Mr. Schmidt is the individual who twice a year goes up there and cleans out the overgrowth with a weed eater. And he has to use a weed eater because the terrain is so rugged, it's pretty much impossible to do it otherwise. So as you can see, the gentleman's very devoted to environmental stewardship, and on behalf of Clearfield County and on behalf of the Pennsylvania Wilds Organization, we want to congratulate you and let folks know that you are a recipient of the Conservation Stewardship Award. I know we have some other folks. I noticed a young lady and gentleman in the front row. Folks, do you want to identify yourselves and speak? Yes, ma'am. I recognize Nick.
So I don't know which way to stand. Should I face you guys?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so I'll just give a little bit of background. I appreciate you congratulating Don on his award. Really excited to be able to recognize him for his efforts. Each year, the Pennsylvania Wild Center recognizes individuals, groups, organizations, communities, and businesses that in the last year have made significant contributions to help sustainably develop the outdoor recreation economy and nature tourism in the Pennsylvania Wilds by marrying our conservation and economic goals. These prestigious awards are typically presented at our annual dinner, but despite us not having our dinner this year because of the pandemic, we wanted to be able to celebrate them in the communities with the commissioners, so we're really pleased that you guys were able to allow us to come in today to honor the award recipient from Clearfield County. The volunteers involved in these pursuits have shown pride in our region and commitment to our natural assets and communities. They've also been both resilient and resourceful in the face of the pandemic, traits that are both uplifted in our own brand principles. So again, we want to thank you guys for allowing us to come in and present the award, and just a little bit of background about it. The Pennsylvania Wilds Conservation Stewardship Champion Award honors the best practices and achievements of an individual, business, or organization that demonstrates a commitment to conservation and outstanding resource stewardship of the natural and cultural assets in the PA Wilds. So today I have a certificate for Don that I'd like to present to you. And if we could, I'd love to get a photo of the commissioners and Don.
We sure will. In fact, what we'll do, I think we have a couple of our state-level elected officials who also have awards for Dawn, and I think maybe we can just take care of everybody in one photograph and one presentation. But thank you. And I want to thank the young lady for being here today. Jody Brennan, who is our county planner, who's also active with PA Wilds, was going to be here today to also assist, but Jody was unable to be here today. So I'm pleased to see a representative from PA Wilds here. Nick, did you want to say anything?
Only that it's nice to be here. It's nice to meet Mr. Schmidt and to recognize his accomplishments, particularly not just the accomplishments, but the devotion with which you carry them out. There's something that you're good at, that you love, and it's not just environment. It's the essence of citizenship. You know, everybody doing their part. Not everybody gets headlines, but everybody does their part, and that's, you know, it makes a difference, and we're appreciative and we're grateful.
Thank you, Nick. We have a representative of Senator Wayne Langerholk here, Andrea Schickling, and I believe, Andrea, the senator has a citation. Is that correct for Mr. Schmidt?
Schickling. I'm here representing Senator Langerholz. Thank you guys for allowing me to come in and do this. Should I just read it?
Sure.
Or,
Yeah, go right ahead.
the Senate of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who, through dedication and excellence, contribute in a meaningful way to the well-being of their communities and ultimately to all the people of this great Commonwealth. Donald L. Schmidt is being honored with the Conservation Stewardship Award by the PA Wild Center for Entrepreneurship during its 2021 Champions of the PA Wild's recognition ceremony. And a retired mechanical engineer, Mr. Schmidt is a longtime volunteer with several conservation organizations, including Pennsylvania Wildlife Habitat. He has participated in highway litter cleanup events and replaced and cleaned wood duck and bluebird boxes at the Queehana Wild area. Mr. Schmidt has also assumed the responsibility of maintaining an American chestnut planting site where twice a year he trims the overgrowth around the 525 original trees. He maintains the area of rough terrain with a weed trimmer and personally supplies the fuel for the trimmers and pays for additional supplies. Any definition of a full and productive life must include service to others. Through his many initiatives to benefit his community and by his personal example, Mr. Schmidt clearly reflects the true spirit and mission of the PA Wild Center for Entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Okay, and then, Mr. Schmidt, you've got one more citation coming. Thank you, Andrea. Your state representative, Mike Armanini, has also prepared a citation to recognize your accomplishments. Mr. Armanini was called to session, so he was unable to be here today, but he did ask the county commissioners to present it to you on his behalf. And I will, trying to think, okay, I'm not going to repeat the part that was, the similar information was contained in Senator Langerholz's citation and also in the information provided on the PA Wild's website, but I do want to note that it indicates that Donald Schmidt is being honored with the Conservation Stewardship Award by the PA Wild Center for Entrepreneurship during its 2021 Champions of the PA Wilds Awards event, and the House of Rep, and of course it goes into great detail about all your accomplishments and the different things you involve yourself in, Mr. Schmidt, that we've already mentioned. On behalf of the House of Representatives, now therefore the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Donald Schmidt on his well-deserved recognition and proudly notes his exemplary record of service and contributions in keeping with the highest ideals of this Commonwealth. And they offer him best wishes for the continuation of his many worthwhile and beneficial endeavors, and directs that a copy of this citation, sponsored by the Honorable Mike Armanini on October 26, 2021, be transmitted to Donald Schmidt of Du Bois, Pennsylvania. So again, congratulations to you, Mr. Schmidt, from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, as well as the Pennsylvania Senate. Yes, Lisa? Yes, we may. Mr. Schmidt, of course, before we take a photo, obviously, you certainly need an opportunity to say something, and you're certainly entitled to bask in the glory of all your awards. So if you'd like to take the podium for a minute, please feel free to do so. Well, I don't know about that, but
I want to thank you all very much for being here for this, and I accept this with honor. There's many more projects that take place in especially Elk and Clearfield County that I'm involved in, and a lot of them deal with, of course, clean water in our area. And I just recently read an article in the paper pertaining to a grant that came to Clearfield County for like $722,000 for mine reclamation, which is absolutely fantastic. And I'm involved very heavily with the Venice Branch Watershed Association, which did all the reclamation work out on Winslow Hill. So other than those projects, many, many more are out there for volunteers. And I accept this award more, not necessarily as an individual, but a small link in the chain of a whole group of volunteers. And volunteers is what we need to do our work. So with that, if you know of anyone that's looking, that has any extra time, there's a lot of work out there that is needed for our environment. Our streams are being cleaned up. I was originally raised in Meadix Run, if any of you know where that is, and had the opportunity as a child to spend a lot of time in what we called the Sulphur Creek. Okay, and the pronunciation was crick, not creek. Okay, so we spent a lot of time there, and I never thought that I'd live long enough to see the Bennett Branch cleaned up to where it's now a stock fishery. And wasn't through my efforts, it was through a lot of other volunteers before I retired and had the extra time to spend on that type of projects. So these are important. Our environment needs those type of projects going on. So if any of it, you can address any of it in the future. Like right now, I'm working on a project with Laurel Run, Clearfield County. Okay, drains into Parker Dam, and Parker Dam, of course, draws a lot of tourism into that area, and it looks like we're going to need some help there with pH. So if that should come up in any of your meetings for Clearfield County, although Clearfield, there again, the main portion of Laurel Run is in Clearfield County, but there's about 3-mile section in Elk County prior to it emptying into the Bennett Branch, and it's a major tributary to the Bennett Branch. So there's that type of work going on that if it comes up, please treat it favorably.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And
Thank you very much,
for
Mr.
the
Schmidt.
award.
Yes, sir, Mr. Schmidt. And I think usually at this point we take a picture. So if you and if your wife would like to join you, why don't you come back here and we'll get a picture. And I don't know, Andrew, if you wanted to come up for it. Andrew, did you want to come up? folks. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but I know how busy everyone is, so you certainly don't have to. And thanks again, folks.
But, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Thank you, folks. Okay. Thank you. The next item we have on the agenda is consideration for an amendment of contract number P00001 with Immigration Control and Enforcement for incorporation of attachment 1, ensuring adequate COVID-19 safety protocols for federal contractors. What this is the federal government there was an executive order issued in September indicating that all contractual arrangements with contractors and subcontractors are to have a provision within it ensuring that all proper federal directives and protocols issued in the fight against COVID-19 are to be properly followed, and the safety protocols, et cetera, are to be abided by. Is that correct, Heather?
You summarized that very well.
Okay, and you reviewed it and you found it to be fine?
Yes, as you stated, this is just in order to ensure that any subcontracts and contracts comply with the executive order from September of 2021.
Okay, very good. And that, of course, will be incorporated in our agreement with ICE as far as the geoprocessing center. So unless there are any questions, I'll entertain a motion that we approve that same amendment to the contract. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. We are to consider at this point an advertising agreement with Seven Mountains Media for Clearfield County Children, Youth, and Family Services. And I believe this is to recruit foster care families. Is that correct?
I believe that is correct. We do this, I think, every year. So our new agreement runs in November. There's two options. One is 330-second commercials or 250-60-second commercials. It's basically our standard agreement with Seven Mountains. There has been a slight increase to the cost for the 30-second commercials. It is an additional $300 per year for this year. And then for the 60-second commercials, it's an increase of $350 this year. But I also do believe that's from the previous don't hold me to that, but I believe in the past also has something with that. So this is again for the November 2021 through October 2022 advertisements.
Do we have to choose between the 30 and the 60, or is that?
They do kind of a combination. It's the same annual price for both, and then I believe they do a combination of those is how they run it.
Okay, very good. All right, that information being presented, I'll entertain a motion that we enter into the advertising agreement with Seven Mountains Media on behalf of Children and Youth Services.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we also have for consideration the Child Welfare Information System Data Sharing Agreement.
This is another agreement every year that we enter into. It's going to run from October 1st of this year through September 30th of next year. This is dealing with CYS and the system they use to ensure that that information is properly protected, kept confidential, also as far as access by different counties. So that agreement has been reviewed and approved to extend.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Heather. Unless there are any questions, I'll entertain a motion that we enter into the data sharing agreement in regards to the Child Welfare Information System. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have two liquid fuel allocations for our consideration, one to Burnside Borough in the amount of $3,000, another one to Brady Township in the amount of $5,643.14. I have no conflict, so at this time I'll call for a motion that we approve the same. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have two purchase of service agreements for our consideration, one with the Bear Foundation in Pennsylvania, another one with Pence Rudd Youth Services. I believe these are long-standing arrangements with these two organizations, and obviously this would be as to Children Youth Services, possibly juvenile probation.
Yes, these two incorporate both CYS and juvenile probation. They are our standard agreements. We've had them for several years at this point with both entities, and they're just updating to this current fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. That being said, then, I'll entertain a motion that we approve those same purchase of service agreements.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have some reappointments to the Clearfield County Conservation District Board to consider. And do we have name? Who are they, Lisa?
Mike Hollabaugh is the public director, and Larry Crittenden as the farmer director.
Okay, and I know both those gentlemen have given very good service to the Conservation District. I'll entertain a motion that we make the same reappointments.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have for our consideration, a PHFA Fair Grant request. Lisa Kavalik's here, Director of our Redevelopment Authority. Lisa, you're going to tell us about this, right?
Yes, Redevelopment Authority of Clearfield County is here to request your support and authorization for Clearfield County to apply the Pennsylvania Housing Finance for $120,000 in the Pennsylvania Housing Affordability Rehabilitation Enhancement Funds, which we call FAIR. Specifically, we are requesting the Marcellus Shale Impact Fee funding that comes to the county, which are sources to help revitalize municipalities in Clearfield County. The target area of the application is Clearfield and Curwensville boroughs, as well as Morris Township. All three of those municipalities have come forward to the Redevelopment Authority requesting assistance to help revitalize their communities. Funding will be used to acquire and demolish and possibly rehabilitate housing in the targeted area. Our application will provide the opportunity for safe communities and affordable housing to those within a range of income. And utilizing these PHFA fair funding through the RACC must commit 30% of the awarded funds to assist households below 50% of the county's area median. And right now, according to U.S. Census, the 2019 area median is $49,015 a year. This funding opportunity offers RACC, or the Redevelopment Authority, a clear path to meet our mission and promoting healthy and prosperous communities with revitalization and development. So I request your authorization and to sign a resolution allowing us to apply for such funds.
Lisa, do we then have actually two requests to deal with? You said a resolution and a request? Or
It's just
one?
approval or support by means of resolution.
It's all part of the same
Yeah.
package then?
Yes.
Okay. All right then, thank you. Well, then I guess and there isn't a specific resolution number or anything?
I don't have a number.
Okay. 7 or 8?
Seven
Okay.
sounds
Okay. All right then, guys, for our consideration is resolution number 2021, either 7 or 8. We'll figure that out later. Authorization, Clearfield County, FFY 2021 PHFA Fair application. Whereas Clearfield County will apply for PHFA Fair Marcellus Shale funds on behalf of the Redevelopment Authority of Clearfield County in the amount of $120,000. Clearfield County would designate Lisa Kavalik, Executive Director of the Redevelopment Authority of Clearfield County, to serve as the official representative for this application. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Clearfield County Commissioners does officially support and approve the application to address the revitalization of Clearfield, Curwensville boroughs, and Morrisdale Township, I guess it'd be Morris Township, with the application. Heather, just before I call for the vote, I serve as Commissioner Representative on the Redevelopment Authority Board. Should I abstain from voting on this, or does it matter? No, I have no financial benefit, so it would be okay. All right, thank you. All right, then. Yes, go right ahead, Dave.
So, in terms of the Marcellus Shale impact fee, is this a separate piece that we would get from the piece the county already gets? Or is this splitting off what we already get?
No, this is money that goes directly to PHFA.
Okay.
And when they get it, then they allocate to those counties that are in the impact fee.
Okay, so it's not related to
It's not
our
anything
current-
I'm taking from the county.
I
It's
just
sitting
wanted to
out
make-
there.
You know where I was going
Yes,
with
yes,
this.
I do. If we don't take it, goes to
Understood.
someone else.
I mean, obviously, I think it's
Yeah.
a wonderful
Yeah.
initiative. I just wanted for budget
Certainly.
purposes to understand where we were here.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Sure, very good, good question. Okay, unless there are any other questions or thoughts, guys, I'll entertain a motion that we approve resolution number 2021-7 or 8 to be determined, I guess.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Last item under new business, we have a probation parole granting aid application for our consideration. Is that correct, Lisa or Heather?
I didn't see it, I believe it's the one we have every year. It is, and it reimburses salaries for probation.
Oh, okay.
Although Sean, was not sure of the amount, he said that has not been given to him yet, so.
Okay.
It's basically a reimbursement. So.
Yeah. But you are correct. That is something we do execute every year. So, all right then. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the probation parole grant and aid application, the amount to be determined, I guess, at a future date.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Solicitor's report.
I do not have anything additional this morning, as far as the ACLU lawsuit that was referenced, last week. I will just update that there are ongoing discussions with council as to the status of that, and their intention moving forward. I don't believe their indication as of yesterday is they would be making a decision here by the end of the week, so at our next meeting, I will update.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Is there anything for the good of the order, guys? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.